Mm. You guys like that title? Barney Historian. Has a nice little ring to it, don't it? I love it. I love it. What? Bro, I got like no ears, but that's okay. So, hello everyone. I'm sure you've seen the news. I know I have. Let me preface this by saying my phone was blowing up this morning. Oh my goodness. I was at work. I was there. Was it like it was 10 or 11 when my phone started getting all these messages? I was there until 5. So I couldn't even do anything. I couldn't even really check my phone or else I would get in trouble, right? So my phone just I was like, okay, this has to be one of three things. Either something happened for Barney, something happened for Power Rangers, or somebody died. And I was so like, oh my goodness. I didn't know what to think, right? It was actually Kalen of Terrific Tributes sent me a message, and I think he sent me an image of what it actually ended up being, and I couldn't really see it. It was a small preview, and it was blurred, and I was like, "What is this?" And I saw Barney's colors, and immediately I got concerned. I had no idea what was going on. I didn't know what to think, and obviously, this is what's going on. And now, let me say it's all about love here. You all know that. So LOVE. It doesn't matter how you feel about where Barney is going, what's happening. We're going to be very respectful. We're going to be very kind as possible in the comments. Make sure to voice your opinion, but we're going to be very respectful about what's going on because I have a lot of strong opinions as well. We're going to get into that. We're going to talk about a lot of different things. I've already read the article, but I'm going to read it here with you guys. And we're going to just look at everything that's going on. There's going to be a few different videos because I want to delve into each different thing as we go along. So stay tuned. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after, more videos will be coming on this topic. But there's a lot to dive into here. First of all, the link will be in the description if you want to see the article for yourself and everything. I'm going to be reading part of it here with you guys. So it says, Mattel announced today its relaunch of the iconic Barney franchise. Mattel's comprehensive revitalization of the Barney brand will span television, film, and YouTube content, as well as music and a full range of kids' products, including toys, books, clothing, and more. Apparel and accessories for adult fans featuring classic Barney are also in development. Now, we will talk about that in a separate video because I have a few theories on what that could mean. Some good, some not so good. So, right here, we see the general business press release stuff. This doesn't tell us anything. Aside from the image that we'll be looking at in a second, this doesn't tell us anything, right? All it says is Mattel is announcing a relaunch of the Barney franchise, which is good. It doesn't matter what's going on. A relaunch is good because keep in mind, Barney's been gone since 2010. It's been 13 years since he's been anywhere in any large capacity. We're not talking merchandise. We're talking as a whole. Barney has been gone for that long. So it's not, it makes sense that Barney is obscure. And we've talked about that a lot of times on this channel. Barney has become obscure and Mattel has let it become obscure because they're not doing anything, right? Now we have confirmation that they are, or they have been, you know? So regardless of what it ended up being, I'm glad that we have confirmation that Barney is moving forward in some way. If you look at my last video, we talked about how the Barney franchise is stuck, how the Barney franchise hasn't been doing anything recently, and it was very upsetting as someone that's grown up with the franchise since I was a child. And just if you look at everything on this channel, you can see why that's very upsetting. So just the fact that they're announcing something like this on the 35th year of the franchise, you know, the anniversary, that is very wonderful. Now we're going to move on to the next part right here. This is what set people off. Well, I mean, it's part of it, right? Mattel will relaunch Barney to a new generation with a brand new animated series set to debut globally in 2024. Created for preschool kids, the series will feature the ubiquitous purple dinosaur and friends, introducing new audiences to the world of Barney through music-filled adventures centered on love, community, and encouragement. The series will be co-produced by Chorus Entertainment's Nelvana, a leading international producer and distributor of children's animated and live-action content, together with Mattel Television, and executive produced by Fred Sully and Christopher Keenan for Mattel Television, and by all these other people. Now, I have very strong opinions about this. One, I I have said multiple times, and it's not just me. A lot of people have been saying this. Barney has been a live action franchise since its conception, whatever. You know what I mean. Barney's been a live action franchise since 1988, and it's been 35 years, and it hasn't strayed from that as a main thing. And I feel like that is the heart of the show. That is the core of the show. Barney comes to life, and it's not to where it's a cartoon. It's Barney is a live action costume, and regardless, real or not, it's a real tangible thing. You can go and see Barney at different attractions. He's real. It's a real person in a costume. It's a real thing that you can go out and see. That I feel like adds to the realism and just the core of the show being imagination. I've always said I never wanted Barney to be animated because I knew what they were going to do. It wasn't going to be a side thing, it was going to be a main thing. And that's the main reason that it always frightened me, the idea of Barney becoming an animated thing. Because again, knowing a company like this, they're not going to make it just some side thing. They're going to make it a cost saving measure and make it the entirety. And if that ends up being the case, then I feel like it's doing a massive disservice to not only the franchise, but everyone that's been involved with it since it started. All the body actors, all the kid actors, all the voice actors that had to do all the timing with the movements and everything, going across countries and doing stage tours and doing concert shows and this and that. It's been that way for so long. And it wouldn't be as bad if they weren't trying to bury and hide Barney's past. Barney's been around for 35 years. The company will only show you the most recent 10 years, 2000 to 2010. They will only ever show you that. They will never show you everything from before that, which is bizarre because that was Barney's peak. That was where Barney was at its highest. The sales were the highest. People knew who Barney was. Barney was going across countries. He was making news headlines, all this kind of stuff. The 90s were Barney's peak, and they will not show you that. It's almost like they refuse to. Whether it be royalty fees that they have to pay, whatever, they won't do it. They will only show you 2000 and 2010. And again, being that Barney's been gone for so long, he's obscure. Kids growing up today that were born after Barney stopped its run on television only have YouTube to go off of. But now with this relaunch, we don't know what they're going to do with live action. We don't even know if they're going to continue that. They said that they want to do YouTube content. We don't know how this will affect the YouTube content that's already up. We don't know if they're going to continue to keep showing those clips from, the hit entertainment years, or God forbid, like before that. We don't know what they're going to do. We don't know if they're going to completely revamp the YouTube and just do Barney animated forever. Who knows? We don't know anything about that just yet, right? And I think that's also something that sort of frightens me a little bit, because the last thing that I want to see them do is just completely not erase, but like not acknowledge the fact that this show has been live action for so long, and that would hurt my heart very, very strongly. And again, we don't want to jump to conclusions. We don't know yet. We have to wait until we get something more concrete. If anything, this is more that we've seen of a new Barney project than the Barney movie by Daniel Kaluuya. We haven't even seen anything from that. We've only heard talk. So the fact that we're getting anything substantial that we can see is key, and I appreciate that very much. I do. Being that it's animated, I still don't like it, but I mean, I don't know. We don't know yet. If we get a trailer, I'll react to it. We'll talk about it. But, we're going off of I don't want to say a premise, but it's something, but it's not anything overly substantial. Now I have a next. What is this? It's a quote from, I don't know who it says. I'll probably put it in the thing, but it says, "With our modern take on Barney, we hope to inspire the next generation to listen, care, and dream big. We think that parents, many of whom will fondly remember the original Barney from their own childhoods, will love the show too." Now that's something. There's a gnat. That's something that I've noticed with this press release, is that they're continuously pointing out that people used to love Barney. They're continuously pointing out the adult fans, the people that grew up with the show. They're continuously bringing that up. That is something that I like. There's a reason I don't like it, but like that's something that I really enjoy. That they're acknowledging that there are adult people around that still remember Barney, that remember Barney fondly, and they're saying like, you will love this, you'll remember it from your childhood. That's great. That's really all I have to say about that. What is this next part? Okay, so they say Barney's message of love and kindness has stood the test of time. Josh Silverman, he's the chief franchise officer and global head of consumer products at Mattel. I don't know who he is, but I guess he's the chief franchise officer, so he must be doing something good. "We will tap into the nostalgia of the generations who grew up with Barney. Again, now parents themselves, and introduce the iconic purple dinosaur to a new generation of kids and families across the world, across content, products, and experiences." So again, another just sort of generic press release statement that doesn't really tell us anything. They're just saying, we want to introduce Barney again to new people, and what does it say? They're going to tap into nostalgia. And I've said that in a previous video. I said that they need to do something with nostalgia. There's a lot of companies that take nostalgia and they just overdo it. That's all it is. They're always constantly referencing the past and making things what they used to be, as opposed to moving forward. Sonic the Hedgehog. There was a long stint where the Green Hill Zone was everywhere, and it was so irritating. Power Rangers, they still kind of do it. They haven't been doing it as much, but like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was everywhere, and to the point where they're starting to tout it as it was the best one, and it's like it's the oldest one. Barney hasn't done that. Barney almost refuses to do that. Barney will not acknowledge the past. Barney only would just continuously regurgitate the same things from the recent years over and over and over again. There's so much material that they can tap into with Barney's nostalgia when it comes to merchandise, releases, accessories. They can do all of that. They haven't done any of that. So if anything, I'm excited to see what they could do with that. And that's going to be a different video that I want to talk about later. But that is something that I am excited for. In this next part, they say, "In creating the new series, it was important to us that we properly reflect the world that kids today live in so that the series can deliver meaningful lessons about navigating it. With our modern take on Barney, we hope to inspire the next generation to listen, care, and dream big. We think that parents, many of whom will fondly remember the original Barney from their own childhoods, will love the show too. Fans." Okay, so again, they're talking about old old parents, people that grew up with Barney. You'll love it, sure. I mean, whatever. But the thing that stood out to me about this was they're saying that they want the show to reflect the world that kids live in today. So that's a very broad statement. That could mean so many different things. There's been so much that's happened in the world since Barney went off the air. And there's a lot of things that even in Barney and Friends that they just didn't touch on. So the fact that they do want to strongly, portray the world that we're in now, and teach kids about like how to care for people, how to do this, how to do that, how to be respectful, how to be kind to people that are different, is what I'm assuming that they're talking about. I love that. That's something that I always wanted for Barney, that Barney almost like never really did. There's a lot of things that Barney didn't touch on, not because they didn't want to touch on it, but because it was such a different time back then, And when Barney's time ran out, it just never really got touched on. And I'm excited to see what they could do with that. Again, I really hope that live action Barney is still going to be a thing with Mattel, because we don't know what's going to happen to those costumes. and they're not just gonna like hold up. Like we don't know who's if anyone's even still making them at Mattel. We don't know what's gonna happen with that. And the last thing we need is the remaining Barney costumes in the world just getting either destroyed or just run down and they never get used again. You know, I ooh if live action doesn't come back in some form or fashion, I will be very hurt. I'll be very upset. I know that the CG animation could do something, but we don't know the extent of that until we actually see it. Also, another thing, we don't know who's involved. From what I can tell, it doesn't look like anyone is really attached to the show from what we know just yet. Like a lot of people that I've seen talking about this are mainly Barney fans. We haven't seen, or at least at the time of this recording, I haven't seen any crew members talking about it. I haven't seen any body actors, voice actors, anything that were a part of the Barney franchise. I haven't seen anyone talking about it yet. I haven't. It's very quiet. So we don't know if anyone has jumped aboard, has been contacted, or what. But I hope that they have someone that was part of the original crew that would have something to say about this, or at least be part of it. Because if they're planning to relaunch and just wipe a clean slate and bring in entirely new people, that is very concerning. And a lot of franchises do that. I'm really hoping, I'm really hoping that they don't do that. I'm just this is a very weird time. Also, we have this this is the image that swept the internet. This model of Barney. I have a lot of things to say about it. It'll be a separate video. There's good things, there's bad things. There's very bad things. I don't know how to feel I don't know how to feel about this model. Again, we're going to talk about the model separately because it's its own thing. So just stay subscribed, stay tuned. I have some things to say about this. That is the model that they're apparently going for in the show. We don't know if it'll get tweaked at all, but I hope it does. But that is supposedly what we're going with for Barney in this new animated series. It doesn't have a name. We don't have a trailer or anything. I'm assuming that will come in the coming months, if not weeks. Who knows? It could be tomorrow. We don't know just yet. But that all right. So that's something that I also wanted to touch on. All we have is this image. We have the image and we have an article. The article is nice. For the most part, it's very generic. And then we have this photo. We don't have any video. We don't have any footage. It's just this image of the CG model of Barney. After everything that happened with Mattel like a few days ago with the Thomas the Tank Engine community, if you don't know, I don't want to discuss the entire thing here. You can find it online. You can look it up. Basically, a Mattel representative said that they don't want to be involved with the autistic community for Thomas. As you all know, as you see right here, Barney is owned by Mattel right now. And the vast majority of Barney's community is autistic, or at least on the spectrum. The timing of this announcement, paired with everything that happened a few days ago, and how sort of generic this article is, almost feels, and I'm not saying they're doing this, it almost feels like they're trying to cover up what was going on. Because if not, they would have given us more than this. It would have been at least like a trailer or Barney moving around or something. It feels, something feels a little nasty. Something feels a little fishy about that. I'm not saying they're doing anything. I'm just saying the coincidence. I don't know. Also, I'm looking at this model and the color doesn't feel right. Anyways, that's a different video. I don't really have much to say else on the topic of the animated series because we don't know much yet. So this is already 20 minutes. That's pretty much all I have to say for this. Again, stay tuned because there are going to be separate videos talking about the model, talking about the adult content that they're going to be adult content, the adult merchandise that they're possibly going to be making. So stay tuned for that. Let me know all your comments, all your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear what you guys think about this. I want to hear your opinions. I know everyone has a lot of them. Uh, it's it's something, right? We haven't gotten anything for Barney in a long time. So I'm excited to see what they could do. There's a lot of things that I hope that they don't do, a lot of things I hope that they do. Uh, but we're just gonna have to wait and see how things lie with this and in the coming year. Again, this is Barney's 35th year as a franchise. It's an anniversary. So clearly they had to have been planning something, or at least I'm glad that they were planning something at some point. So yeah, let me know what your comments are in the below, and let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. I can't wait to read them. I can't wait to see them. Thank you guys for joining my rainbow line. I'll see you guys the next stop. See you. Alicia, Andrew, Brandon, Caroline, Daisy, Donnie, Emilia, Gwen, Caitlin, Matthew, Megley, Mia T. Toon, Nerdy Disney, our friend Barney, Velveteen. Thank you to all of my rainbow line passengers. See you.